Scalability of Neuralink applications is truly revolutionary, such as treating neurological disorders. It is even more revolutionary as the potential for colonization of Mars. Neuralink could merge the human brain with AI, and robotics could thus be instrumental in establishing a Martian society that lives entirely without contact with Earth. This will dramatically change the future of space exploration and human evolution. This was just a glimpse of the future. What's next will lay the foundation for an entirely new world. Building a self-sustaining Martian city. Elon Musk's ultimate vision for Mars is not just landing humans on the red planet, but establishing a self-sustaining city with 1 million people. This ambitious goal requires an enormous amount of infrastructure, resources, and planning. According to Musk, achieving this vision will involve transporting 1 million tons. SpaceX plans to send Tesla bots, Optimus and Cybertrucks ahead of human arrivals to begin assembling the necessary infrastructure. Automated robots will be responsible for setting up solar farms for energy, constructing habitats, and preparing life support systems. Since Mars has no breathable atmosphere, enclosed habitats with controlled oxygen levels will be essential for survival. Over time, colonists will need to develop systems for water extraction, food production, and waste recycling to reduce reliance on Earth-based supplies. Musk has also hinted that underground tunnels, built using the Boring Company's tunneling machines, could provide additional protection from radiation, dust storms, and extreme temperature fluctuations. A major challenge in establishing a self-sustaining Martian city is creating a functional economy and society. Musk proposed a city where people could live and work in the same way as on Earth, to have businesses with schools, entertainment centers able to build and expand the city without the resources of resupply missions. However, the main determinants for a Martian city to be actually self-sufficient would be advancements in technologies, the establishment of automation, and human adaptability. Musk is clear that the first settlers will undergo extreme hardships and great risks, and no guarantees come with survival. But with Starship, cheap transportation, Tesla bots automating infrastructure, AI helping with decisions, and Neuralink augmenting human ability, the vision of a people-filled permanent city on Mars becomes more realistic. This would possibly be counted as one of the greatest milestones in history from the perspective of humankind, making Mars a second home for humanity and ensuring human survival outside Earth. The Boring Company's role in Mars colonization. One of the biggest challenges of living on Mars is protection from the planet's extreme environment, which comes into play. Its advanced tunneling technology could help create underground cities on Mars, providing natural shielding against radiation and other environmental hazards. In November 2024, Musk emphasized the importance of tunnels on Mars, stating on X, formerly Twitter, "Tunnels will be important on Mars." The Boring Company responded by confirming that its latest tunneling machine, Prufrock 4, fits inside a Starship payload bay. This means that SpaceX could transport tunneling machines to Mars, where they would begin digging underground habitats for future settlers. Unlike traditional Earth-based tunnel boring machines, a Mars-specific design would be optimized for the planet's lower gravity and unique soil composition. These tunnels could serve multiple purposes, including housing, storage facilities, research labs, and transportation routes, shielding colonists from the harsh surface conditions. Underground bases would also address the dust storm issue on tunnels connecting different settlement zones, power stations, and industrial hubs. Moreover, these tunnels could be dug and expanded by the machines developed by the Boring Company autonomously. This would enhance the speed and scaling of the entire Mars colonization effort. Musk has also been theorizing about using tunnel boring technology to mine water ice and other important elements on Mars. Since there are huge underground pools of frozen water within Mars, this provides an opportunity for boring machines to easily access these deposits, which is very important for the colonizers because it can be used to drink, irrigate, and produce fuel. Realizing that these ice deposits will form the basis of Musk's dream project of terraforming Mars after some time. Having water vapor and CO2 released into the atmosphere will increase the temperature and atmospheric pressure of the planet over time. Through Boring Company's sophisticated tunneling systems, Mars colonists could make safer habitats, extract 43 degrees Celsius, a thin atmosphere, and almost no liquid water on the surface. For a human settlement to thrive in the long run, Mars needs to be warmed up and given a thicker atmosphere to retain heat and provide oxygen for breathing. While this idea may sound like science fiction, Musk has proposed a radical solution, using nuclear explosions to release CO2 and water vapor trapped in the planet's frozen ice caps, triggering an artificial greenhouse effect. Musk has advocated for nuking Mars multiple times, arguing that detonating nuclear bombs over the Martian poles could quickly vaporize frozen CO2 and water ice, releasing them into the atmosphere. This would create a self-sustaining cycle of warming, where greenhouse gases trap heat from the sun and gradually increase surface temperatures. Once the temperature rises, more ice would melt, releasing even more CO2 and water vapor, which could eventually allow for the formation of rivers, lakes, and possibly terraforming would be very difficult and take a long time, but that he believes it may be achievable in hundreds of years, given enough technology. Step 1 will be sending humans, building infrastructure, and starting tests to warm up local areas with greenhouse domes or artificial habitats. But here is a strong problem: that Mars lacks a global magnetic field, and therefore any new atmosphere would be slowly stripped by the solar wind, just as billions of years ago. To hatch Mars completely, scientists need to devise a way to prevent the loss of atmosphere to space by definite methods, possibly artificial magnetic fields. Making Mars Earth-like may take hundreds or thousands of years, but according to Musk, there's no time like the present to start it by joining colonization and technological innovation. With or without full terraforming, he believes that making Mars a habitable world would be humanity's best shot at becoming a multi-planet species. Governance and laws on Mars ensuring the colony's success and long-term survival. While Musk has spoken extensively about the technology and logistics of getting to Mars, he has yet to provide a clear plan for its political structure. The biggest challenge in Martian governance is that no existing government has sovereignty over Mars. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967, signed by most major spacefaring nations, states that no country can claim ownership of celestial bodies like Mars. However, it does not provide a framework for how an independent settlement should be run. Musk has previously suggested that Mars should have a direct democracy, where colonists vote directly on laws rather than relying on elected representatives. This system could be more efficient in a small, self-contained society, but as the population grows, more complex governmental structures may be needed. Another worrying aspect is the conflicts, crime, and resource management on Mars. It will be composed mostly of highly trained specialists and scientists, the single most influential player on Mars colonization. Without governance in place, Mars could easily become lawless and chaotic, like the ones in the period of early civilization, rather than a new, thriving civilization. Musk's increasing influence in politics may be a factor that influences Martian governance. Starting in 2025, Musk will get more involved in the affairs of the US government, which might transcend into future space policies. The government never before witnessed such an event, for it would set aside history by establishing a self-governing Mars colony as a government entirely born from another planet. Still, many queries are left unanswered. Whether Mars in the end would declare itself independent from Earth, whether it will draft its constitution, what rights will there be for Martian settlers? Musk has not as yet divulged his political vision for Mars, but it is safe to opine that laws and governance would be as critical as survival technology. All roads lead to this: national security, energy policies, and technological advancements. His involvement in space policy, AI regulation, and infrastructure development has positioned him as one of the most influential figures in modern history. Starting in January 2025, Musk is expected to take on an even more significant role in US government affairs, raising questions about how his influence could shape policies related to Mars colonization, AI governance, and interplanetary law. Musk's growing government connections stem largely from SpaceX's role as a critical partner for NASA and the US military. SpaceX has become the leading provider of space launches for both civilian and defense-related missions, securing multi-billion-dollar contracts with NASA and the Pentagon. The success of Starship and the Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon, has further cemented SpaceX as an indispensable asset to American space dominance. As Mars colonization efforts progress, Musk's political leverage will only increase. As his view, pruned over the years by his regulations on AI to avoid existential threats, places him in direct conversations with policymakers concerning the future of AI governance. He is also certainly at the center of human augmentation regarding ethics and legality through his work with Neuralink in brain-computer interfaces. Human-robot integration will be a hot topic of debate because of his involvement. Thus, one can extrapolate that Musk's political thinking involves industry leadership as well as other dimensions because he has his hands in space, AI, energy, and defense. He has not declared any intention to run for office, but his growing participation in policy discussions, regulatory debates, and government contracts shows that he is creating opportunities for further political influence. However, how Mars will be ruled, and whether it will be by Musk himself, will become a subject of discussion once he successfully establishes mind-blowing discoveries. See you next time.